like I say, you find out about all these different things. That like he's there to give him a speech on something or other, and basically he doesn't know anything about what he's talking about. You can actually get the film. Usually, the film and the recordings for the voices are stored on two different things. And so later on, what they actually did was they went back and redid voices for everyone on the thing. Basically, they just cut those videos were actually taken for something else, and there was actually a recording of what he's actually saying at those events, and he's talking about something completely different. And then later on, what they did was they went back in and went, my fellow Americans, yes, I think we should go to space. Yeah, they just redubbed everything, and even like this is the Speaker of the House. This is the Speaker of the House. He's coming out to plate. Yes, and I believe that this good man here, and we should actually do what he says. It was like that. But I can't do two voices. I'm sorry. But anyway, I can't do two voices. But basically, you find out where basically everything that JFK, that John McCain, that they were was basically nothing more than pretty much um, film set video and a bunch of my technical videos and a bunch of carefully orchestrated like voiceovers for every single video to get this idea what they considered the the alternate reality show. They actually did do that. It was like somebody who did the in a cool sounding voice, the alternate reality show. Anyway, something like that. I mean, they were so drugged out of their mind in 1940, 1950, 1960. Just like, do you even know what day it is? Do you even know what planet you're on? Oh, I think this is Terran, or maybe Sinclair, or it might be uh, Alfa Romeo. Anyway, yeah. I can't do it. Sorry. Anyway, though, but yeah, basically that's pretty much it sums it up. Basically, they just use a bunch of like that's the guy who's supposed to be the Lockheed guy, but you see him here, and he's actually a news reporter. He's actually in a that's actually they're actually football announcers or something like that. There's a stadium outside, and that's actually the room for the football announcing stadium. There's a couple bad things that happened there, like somebody walked out on the field and shot a bunch of people, and there was like a hostage situation at this one stadium, and so they spliced in like video of the hostage situation or whatever at the thing with them sitting there, and it's actually late at night, and they're actually as a football game, and that guy's actually like a football coach, and stuff. So, and these are actually football people, and this is actually like a football stadium, and then we go to them standing at a thing. And so you find out that these people actually had nothing to do with the space agency at all, and were actually football coaches and football people, and they were actually just doing a fake radio show or whatever, and basically embezzlers, and pretty much they basically would shoot their football teams, or actually make slide calls, to basically they would say whatever you wanted if you paid them. Um, and they also did bookie stuff. Like for instance, they would you could take bets on the football games, and a lot of these things are like them talking about things, and this is they just have all this, and this is actually like a football stadium room or something like that, or a game room or whatever for what's called. And then they go to a different pan or whatever, and it's basically just a whole bunch. Like I said, he's a football coach. That's all he is. He's a football coach. And they just paid him to get up there and say, and like you find out that all this stuff is actually just fake, and this is actually a shot of there is a real space station or a real space or agency or whatever. They were just walking through. You could take tours of my space agency and all that other stuff, and you could even put on. These are actually the same headsets as what the football announcers use. And then they splice in some video and stuff like that. And it's basically the Kennedy lie, the Apollo lie. Like I said, Apollo was a dog, and so was Fido. And so they thought it'd be cool, the Apollo space radio show. And one time during the show, like I said, Fido was in the room and bugging him, and he was like, "Fido, go!" And from then on, it was Fido, Is Fido System go? Fido Systems go. And there's just some guys in a garage. And some football people that were going to go to jail for running the bookies or whatever. And then they just put like a little card on top of an old machine, basically, and took a picture of it. And said, this is the history. And it's actually the history of the football history. Like, you look at it, it's actually the football history machines or something like that. And basically, and these are all like this is a game after a game or something like that. Like, he went up there to talk to or graduate or talk to the game, whatever, and that's another guy. And these are all football coaches. Anyways, basically they were making money off of throwing games or betting on games. People would bet on the football games, and then basically they would change the results to make a little more money. And they had nothing to do with the space agency at all. Not even a little bit. Like this is all clips from the TV and stuff like that. Like, they were bookies. That's all they were. Bookies and other stuff. Anyway, you find out that between 1940 and 1950, there's just all this death, and basically a bunch of, they bought that car right there, and, this is after a football game or whatever. He was like pretending to be like a big shot or something like that, and stuff like that. And the little hold downs that they say, oh, this is for the Secret Service. It used to have a fin. The car had a fin on the back, or a luggage rack on the back, and they took the luggage rack or the fin off, and because it was a sports car, it was a high-performance car. It was a prototype high-performance car, so it had like a fin or something on the back. And they just took the fin off to make it look more official, but didn't take the little hold-downs off. So then they would, and sometimes later on they would actually drive around with guns, and they would go... and they would do like hit maneuvers with the car, holding on to the little hold downs or something like that. Anyway, it's all a bunch of you find out that all this history, it's all crap. It's all bullshit. It's all lies. It's all crap. Anyway, whatever. And they were just basically USF people basically got to one of the LSF 71 Blackbirds uranium hull ships and basically cut it up and used it as body armor and drove around and basically killed a bunch of people, got a bunch of boots. They terrorized Germany, they terrorized China, they terrorized everywhere they went, and basically they would play games, and basically they'd suit up and basically go kill a football team if they had to. And pretty much they had the people of the earth running for their lives and scared like fuck, because and even the cops couldn't touch them because the cops could only had lead bullets, so it couldn't penetrate the depleted uranium body armor. Until the cops started using something a little more substantial, like brass or a hardened alloy. But they made sure that those cops didn't stay around very long, and in fact possibly even died. They were psychotically going after what's called. But you find out. It's mission control. Oh, yeah. Put up a cheesy little thing and it's mission control. Anyway, these are like bookies or something like that. Like, they're watching sports games or whatever, and you can bet on the sports games. This is a sports game center, actually. That was somewhere. Then they just put these, later on, they just put these little things saying, it's the trench. Anyway, the trench was another term for the pit, basically. Where the football players, they would discuss the passes or whatever, or how they were going to throw the game and make it look convincing, or who was betting on the game today. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, anyway, that's a football coach. And you can actually kind of see what he's actually looking on the screen. Usually it's not what you think it is and all that other stuff. And anyway, yeah, so yeah, I mean, deal with your own stuff, but basically, yeah, I don't know what they're looking at here. I think something anyway, this is in like, what's it called? I think France or someplace like that. It was basically, this is a bookie control room. Basically, they could monitor different games, different channels, basically, and look at different stuff. And they're mostly just looking at game statistics or something, or they had some sort of, anyway, it's a water pumping station control room or something like that. I don't really remember. But it's actually a place and it's still there. And you can look it up, and they have like them pacing around. And I think it's a control room for some, he's a football coach, so probably something to do with sports. Basically they were just, they were running guns and drugs and lots of stuff. See, Anyway, those are announcer things, and you could like doot doot doot, press the buttons some more, make it look like you're actually doing something. Smoke some more cigarettes.